Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's Richard here again. I'm an outdoor photographer and I'm currently outdoors on Bull Island on the east coast of Dublin. It's a lovely sunny afternoon. I'm going to wander around the sand dunes here and on the beach. I'm going to try and get a few photos because it's been a while. So I'm right here along the beach and I'm just playing around with some long exposures. I've set the tripod up, camera on the tripod, and I'm just focusing in on a kind of a light, a metal light post that's sticking out of the water. And like I said, I'm just playing around. I'm going for just really long exposures. I'm putting a 10-stop filter on this, like 5-second exposure. I might put more filters on it and go for an even long exposure. Just curious to see what I get out of it. Now, hopefully you can hear me. It's quite windy here. So I'll keep playing along and if it's any good, I'll show it on the screen. I'll throw it up anyway, just to show you what I'm getting. Okay, I'll keep on going. Well, this is the shot that I got after my long exposure of the lamp or the signal light or whatever it is that's in the water. And it turned out, I really like it. I think it turned out really well. Obviously, the long exposure has smoothed out all of the waves and has given it this nice brown kind of look to the front foreground of the picture, and you've got the actual post here with a nice shadow being or reflection, kind of an outline of a reflection cast on it, and I really like it now. It's actually quite turned out nice and sharp, which is, you know, I was happy with because it was hard to do with the wind that was blowing that day. So I had the tripod fairly secure. Took maybe 4 or 5 shots of it, and this is my favorite. So I've kind of edited it. I like the kind of the color tones that are on it. It's nice and minimalistic. It's, you know, it's simple, but yeah, quite happy with that. So, you know, you do get some interesting effects when you put the filters on the lens there. Like I said, it was a 10-stop with a polarizer, so I slowed that down. I think it's I think it was like an 8-second or 15-second exposure. I can't review it from that, but I think it was about 15 seconds. I'll throw it up on the screen. And that was sufficient enough to really just eliminate all those waves, and just to give you this kind of minimalistic, kind of eerie sort of look. So yeah, quite like that shot. Okay, so look, it was a really windy day on the beach. I should have been a bit more prepared for it, but yeah, no, the wind was something else. It was just whipping up. It wasn't just the wind, it was the combination of the wind blowing the sand everywhere, all over my gear, all over me, and just being a constant annoyance. So, you know, as a result, it messed up a pile of my audio. That and the fact that when I was doing sections to camera, I didn't record the audio. And yeah, so I just kind of got flustered in the night. It's quite difficult, you know, to take photos and you don't record yourself and make the videos. So I'm sure some of you know, but yeah, so like I said, I just, rather than try and salvage something from what I got, you know, footage wise and audio wise, I'm just going to review the photos I got because I think I got some nice shots, and I'm just going to talk about them, what I like about them, what I don't like about them, and maybe a little bit how I edit them. But yeah, so let's get stuck into it. So I was wandering down the beach looking for an interesting shot, and I came across just a piece of driftwood here, and I thought it might make an interesting subject. It was really the only piece of driftwood that I kind of saw along the beach. So I got down over to it, and I took a number of shots from different angles of the wood, as you can see it here, and this is my favourite one. So I got down low. I mean, I was lying on the sand here for this shot, and I had the camera on the tripod down really, really low. And I fired off a number of rounds. I could see this jogger coming along for his morning jog, and I thought I'd try and capture him in there, just add an extra element to the photo. And yeah, it came out well. Like, you know, I like the composition of it, and I like the color tones. Now, if we take a closer look at the log here, you can see I think miss focus a bit on the front of the log, which, you know, I lose marks for that because, you know, I thought I had focused towards the front of it, but it looks more like I was focusing down the end of the log. And I shot this at f8, so, you you know, I was hoping it would keep it all in focus, but maybe it's the fact that, you know, I was so close to the log. Either way, it's a little soft here. And I would have liked to maybe shot it at a faster shutter speed in hindsight. I think it was at 150th of a second, which is fast enough, but you can see there's a bit of blurring on the jogger's feet here. So, you know, to make it an even better photograph, I would have liked to have totally froze those feet. But overall, like, I do like it. Like I said, it's a nice composition. I used a bit of dodge and burn. I added a little bit of shadow down here in the sand, and I think I put like a vignette around it. This very small vignette around the whole image. It just makes for a nice image. So yeah, that's my piece of driftwood on the beach there. So we'll move on to the next image I got in the day. Good old sand dune. Now some of you might have seen the previous video. I'll link it in the description or at the end of the video. I do like a good sand dune, and I think it's more of a recent thing. I've been noticing them more now, and I just think they make, for interesting compositions, they generally give off layers and features that, you know, I like. And although at first glance this image here might look a bit messy, and it is messy, you know, but I think it's a nice sort of messy. It intrigues me. You've got layers going on. You've got obviously this top layer, and you've got these roots, which is what I really like about this image. Is it's got the roots of the grass coming through the sand. I just think it's, you know, it's interesting. It you know, intrigues me. And then you've got all the actual features of the sand crumbling away, and you nearly see the erosion in action. And then obviously you've got this piece of driftwood down the foreground here, which, you know, adds to the image. So this sort of thing, sort of images I like, sort of things that, you know, pique my interest when I'm walking by it. There's a lot going on. I mean, I even like this stick that's in the foreground here, and just a general method of photo. And generally I like to keep, a lot of time I'll try and keep photos tidy, but in this case I quite like it messy. So yeah, like this image, and it's the first of two sand dune images I got, so I'll show you the second one. So this is the second sand dune image, and actually I probably prefer this than the first. And again, it mightn't be everyone's cup of tea, but it's something that I really like it. Like I've cropped this down to by 16 by 9, and again, straight out the bat, what I really like about this image is all the layers. You've got a layer of cloud, layer of grass, a layer of sand, a layer of grass, another layer of sand. So there's like about 5 layers going on, and then you've got this rock here in the foreground, and I think it balances it out really well. Like, I mean, I actually like the way the rock is off center to the left of frame, and rather than in the center of frame, which, you know, you could be tempted to try and do. I think it's kind of balanced by this kind of this darker area in the image here, and it's just like a moody sky. I think it would make a nice print actually, and I really like that shot. So again, it's just another image that those images, those features in sand dunes are just all over the place, and it's very, you know, it's easy enough to just find a nice composition and, you know, really focus in on just some, you know, the grasses, the sticks, the driftwood, things like that, and yeah, it can make for an interesting image. At least I think so. So we'll go on to the next one that I got. So I shot this at like 400mm, and obviously I kind of had to, because I was really focusing in on these 4 or 5 people walking in the foreground here, and I was battling you know, very hazy, a lot of haze in the day, and like I said earlier in the video, it was really windy, so that wind was whipping up a load of like sand in the air. So, you know, at first glance when I looked at this in Lightroom, I wasn't too sure whether I could get something from it, but I did quite a bit of work, and obviously I went for black and white, just because these figures were almost silhouetted as it was, and I just thought it'd be more of an interesting image just to really emphasize these figures here and to go with the black and white. I actually used the dehaze slider on Lightroom, and I don't generally use dehaze. I'm not a huge fan of it. I think it kind of makes your images kind of go blue. Certainly it messes up sky and makes the sky go weird, but on the black and white, and with quite a dark image, it actually did a really good job of, like, you know, bringing out the features in this image, and it did dehaze. It certainly improved it. So brought that dehaze up to, I don't know, about 30% on the slider, and it did a great job. But you know, I also then brightened up the foreground, or just increased the highlights on the foreground here, and just tried to put in more contrast here just to get things popping. But it's really when you zoom in on this image that, you know, made me like it. It's like there's so much going on. There's so many people just wandering around here, and it's kind of like got a painterly kind of vibe to it. It's you know, there's a haze there in the image, and it's causing a distortion, and that, along with probably, you know, the work I've done in Lightroom, it's added this kind of like painterly feel to it. And I just really like it. You know, it rocks my boat. And then obviously, composition wise, you've got like a lot of vertical lines here, you know, with the chimneys, and a repetition of people and posts all the way down along the image. So it caught my eye. The more I worked on it, the more I liked it. And yeah, and I think it looks well in black and white. So we'll shoot on to the next one I got. It's probably more of a straightforward image. Obviously, I shot it in portrait here, but again, it was looking at the pool peg chimneys in the background here. But you had this little lifeguard hut off frame here, and this is their little rescue boat parked outside it. But you know, I saw this little rock wall. It's a perfect like leading line into the boat, and then you've got the chimneys in the background. I was also watching the area. You can see there's a bit of a light beam going across the middle of the picture here. I was trying to catch that light beam, and I was hoping it would illuminate the boat a bit more, and I kind of caught the edge of the boat all right. But you know, overall, I think it makes for a nice image. I did you know, I put a vignette around this one. I, you know, adjusted the color tones a bit. One of the big bits of work I've done on this was I actually used generative fill here right on the edge. So as you can see, this rock here was actually going out of frame when I cropped in slightly, and I was losing the rock out of frame. So, you know, full disclosure, used generative fill there, and I think it did a great job, because, you know, it looks better when the rock's not going off frame. So yeah, that image turned out quite well, and I'm quite happy with that. So we'll shoot on to the next image. So this is the old visitor centre to the Bull Island and onto the beach. And geez, I don't know if I've mentioned it, but it's Dollymount Strand is the name of the beach that runs along Bull Island. So it's a very popular piece of beach in Dublin. But anyway, this is an old visitors, as you can see from the image, visitors interpretive centre. I don't think, I've never in it. I think it's been redeveloped, but you know, it's an interesting building. It's like kind of up on, almost looks like it's up on a stilt there. And again, quite happy with this shot. I just like the composition of it, and I like the colour tones. I like the clouds in the background. It's a nice bit of detail in it, and you've got obviously this old bench with all the overgrown grass, and it's just a pleasant image. So yeah, I quite like that. We'll go on to the next one. So this is the last shot I'm going to throw up here. Again, just another one from Dollymount Strand, and it's the lifeguard huts. But you know, there's great contrast there. You see the bright reds and the bright yellows. They really stand out on the beach, and you'll see these, you know, on probably most beaches around the world, and certainly you see quite a few of them around in Ireland that are painted these colours. They make for a good shot. So you know, I tried to get the line of these wooden stakes coming across the middle of the frame there. I just think it divides up the frame nicely, and you know, just a nice bit of detail in there. I really pumped up the contrast and a bit of vibrance into this image. And again, a bit of use of generative fill here in the front of the image. This probably this section here of the image there was a bit of sand I didn't like. It was all like driven on and stuff. So bit of a loop around it and cut it out and use generative fill, and bang, this is what, you know, it's great. It's great for things like that. But yeah, tidied up the image well, and I just think composition wise it's nice, interesting image. Yeah, so that was the last one I got for today. Okay, that's it for today. I'm going to call it quits now, short and sweet. Hopefully I got a couple of decent shots, and sure, if not, there's always the next time. So listen, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to be back in a couple of weeks. And like I said earlier on, I'm hoping to get away shortly and a little adventure and get some more shots. So I'll keep you updated. See you in the next one. Bye bye.